Hi guys, so I've been wanting to make this kind of video for a while now because I've been always curious about something that most people use almost every single day, the microwave. I've been doing some research and I was trying to figure out, is it actually safe to use a microwave? And as you probably know, there is a lot of talk out there. Some people say that it's fine, others say that it's really harmful and we should stay out of it. So in this video, we're going to break it all down and finally get to the bottom of it. Are you ready? So let's go. Most people don't know this, but the microwave oven was actually discovered by accident. In 1945, an American engineer named Percy Spencer was working for a defense company called Raytheon. So he was standing near a magnetron, a device that actually powers a radar, and he kind of noticed something strange. A chocolate bar in his pocket had melted. So that weird moment led to more experiments, and by 1947 the first commercial microwave oven called the Rayder was born. It was almost 1.8 meters or 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighed 340 kilograms or 750 pounds, and it cost $5,000 at that time, which is equivalent to about $70,000 in 2024. So it was huge and it was expensive, but by 1960s and 70s, smaller home version became available, and today microwaves are everywhere. But just because we've used them for decades, doesn't mean that they are harmless. So let's look at this. How does a microwave actually work? Microwaves cook food by using a type of non-ionizing radiation. And this non-ionizing radiation is actually a type of electromagnetic radiation that does not carry enough energy to ionize items or molecules, meaning that it can't remove tightly bound electrons. And because of this, it generally poses less risk to biological tissues than ionizing radiation like X-rays or gamma rays, though high levels still can cause harm such as burns or tissue damage. So this non-ionizing radiation is a specific kind of energy that causes water molecules in food to vibrate, and that vibration causes heat, which then cooks the food. Now here is what's happening behind that microwave door. A component called magnetron generates electromagnetic waves, and these waves, they penetrate food, especially its moisture-rich parts. The energy causes water molecules to rub against each other, and it's generating heat from the inside out. This is very, very different from the ovens, which heat food from the outside in. So that does sound simple, right? But here is where the problems start. Because microwaves target water in your food, food heats unevenly, especially if they are thick or frozen. This uneven heating can make certain foods less safe to eat and so much less nutritious. And while microwaves do not leave behind radioactive particles, the way that they alter your food can still carry consequences, especially when it comes to nutrient loss, texture changes, or some chemical reactions, like when you heat plastic or some processed foods. So let's talk about what really happens to all these nutrients. Unfortunately, microwaves break down the key nutrients in food, especially vitamins that are sensitive to heat, like for example vitamin C, folate or B vitamins, and many others. For example, there was a study that published in the Journal of Science of Food and Agriculture, and they found that microwaving broccoli in water destroyed up to 97% of its antioxidants compared to only 11% lost when steamed. So yes, how you cook really matters. And microwaving might be quick, yes, and super convenient, but it could be robbing your food of important nutrients, especially if you are heating it in water or for long periods of time. If you have kids, you probably heard this one before, that heating baby food or breast milk in the microwave is not safe. And many pediatricians, including the American Academy of Pediatrics, they warn against microwaving baby food. And here is why it's really risky. As I mentioned earlier, microwaves, they heat food unevenly, creating these hot spots that can basically burn your baby's mouth or throat, even if the bottle feels cool on the outside. Breast milk contains delicate antibodies and enzymes that can be damaged or destroyed by microwave heat. Some studies also suggest that heating can change the fat composition of milk, possibly reducing its nutritional quality. So how do we warm it up then? What's the safer option? You can use warm water bath, or they have these bottle warmers. You can use that instead, and it is slower, but it's far gentler and safer for your baby. Many people still heat food in plastic containers. I used to be one of those people. And that's the problem. That's a big problem, because it can leach all kinds of bad chemicals in there. Even if it says on the package that it's microwave safe, heating certain plastic can still release chemicals like BPA, which is linked to all these hormone disruptions and all these fertility issues, and it has all these phthalates, which is associated with reproduction problems and liver toxicity, dioxins, environmental pollutants that can accumulate in your body and maybe carcinogenic. So then what does this microwave safe label really mean? It only means that the plastic won't melt, but it doesn't mean that it won't leach chemicals. So the safer option is use glass or ceramic containers when heating food in the microwave. Or better yet, just avoid all this microwaving altogether and eat more raw or lightly steamed plants. Okay, so this next one is very interesting one, because there is also something called superheating, and that's when water in the microwave is heated beyond the boiling point without actually bubbling. So you don't see this boiling, but it's hotter than boiling. So basically, when disturbed, or when you like stir it or try to put like a tea bag in it, it can violently explode in your face or in your hands. This actually caused a lot of problems, a lot of burns. A lot of people ended up in emergency rooms with these kind of burns. So yeah, this is a real and documented danger. Emergency rooms regularly treat people with severe burns from all these superheated liquids. You may not even see it coming, and that makes it even more dangerous. When microwaves cook or reheat processed foods, they can break down proteins in very unnatural ways and cause oxidation of fats, especially in fatty or oily foods, and lead to creation of harmful compounds like AGEs, advanced glycation end products, which are linked to inflammation, aging, and chronic disease. And reheating certain foods over and over, and especially in plastic, may intensify this effect. As I mentioned earlier, microwaves use non-ionizing radiation, which is safer if contained properly, unlike X-rays radiation. But if your microwave is pretty old and it has a damaged door or doesn't close tightly, it may actually leak radiation. And while low-level leakage is typically harmless, as they say, or is it? Long-term or close-up exposure could potentially cause burns, especially near eyes or skin. It could interfere with medical devices such as those pacemakers or insulin pumps, and it could raise questions about cellular stress over time. So here's a tip. If your microwave door is bent, deformed, or just doesn't seal completely, stop using it immediately. Get rid of it, throw it away. Just don't use it, because it's not worth the risk. Some people use Kirlian Photography. I'm gonna make a video about this, so stay tuned, subscribe for that. So they use Kirlian Photography to claim that microwave food has no life energy left. While this isn't proven in the science sense, what the photos do show is reduced electrical activity and moisture. Microwave food tends to look duller in these images because moisture evaporates, cell structures break down, and electrical conductivity decreases. So, while the term "that food" might be more symbolic than scientific, it's not entirely wrong. The structural integrity and vibrancy of the food does change after being microwaved. So the final verdict is microwave may be convenient, yes, but they come with real risks, from nutrient loss and uneven heating to all this toxic chemical exposure and all these superheating accidents. They won't make your food radioactive though, but they can really make it less nutritious, less safe, and far from natural. So I say, whenever you can, skip the microwaving altogether. Try steaming, sauteing, overwarming, or better yet, eat more raw, living foods that are closest to their natural, nutrient-rich state. Okay guys, I hope this video helped to clear up some things for you the way that it did for me. And if you've got questions or have heard some interesting microwave myths or not, drop them down below in the comments. I really love reading all your comments, so keep them coming, and don't forget to like, subscribe if you found this video helpful, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.